welcome back, everybody, to Roll
with the Troll.
With the Troll, and I'm here with the voice of reason.
That's me.
Yeah, so listen, I've been thinking, Mike Barnes.
Yeah.
It's been a while since he's seen Daniel.
Yeah.
And now he's about to be reintroduced to the Karate Kid universe.
Yes.
In Cobra Kai Season 5.
From your lips to God's ears.
Yeah, so we can't wait to see him. Let me ask you this. What do you think Mike Barnes' attitude is now towards Daniel LaRusso?
Well, I'm looking at the thumbnail right now, and apparently he still thinks that Daniel's a pussy.
Yeah, he's still, that's my belief.
That's your belief.
Yeah, there's no way that Daniel has any credibility with Mike Barnes after all these years now, because a lot of time has passed.
Yes, that's the
point. So
point.
You might think, they were young boys, a lot's changed since then. Maybe by now, Mike has some respect for him, or maybe Mike would almost apologize. Couldn't be further from the truth.
Really?
None of that's possible.
I could see a scenario in which this many years have gone by and Mike Barnes has grown and matured and reflected and looked back on that time, and he might be rethinking some of the decisions he made.
Yeah, not a chance.
Oh.
Not a chance, no. Mike Barnes, because Daniel left him on a note that Daniel has nothing in this fight. That it's 0 to 1,000. Because look at everything. There wasn't even one opportunity for Daniel to in any way inflict any kind of damage or anything towards Mike Barnes. Do you realize this?
Okay.
Even though Daniel won the tournament, we all know that was a nonsense win, right?
Yeah.
That was a ridiculous win.
Yeah.
It wasn't really a win. I mean, it was only because Mike Barnes gave him points. And Mike Barnes was more interested in torturing him. Yes. Even though Terry Silver had just tortured him. Yes. God, they really beat that poor kid up in that movie.
He was tortured throughout the whole thing.
He really was. What a goddamn. But Mike Barnes beat him up in the ring and was like losing points. Just didn't even care. He just wanted to destroy Daniel.
Yeah.
A kid with all this financial agenda for the future. And all he was doing was throwing away points just to beat Daniel up. That's how much he wanted to emasculate Daniel.
Yeah, well, I mean, Terry Silver was directing some of that though, right?
Yeah, but the point is that looking back now, Mike Barnes is still going to look at Daniel and think, geez, that kid didn't put a dent in me or Terry Silver or Kreese.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Like Mr. Miyagi whipped their ass in, 30, 40 seconds. Mr. Miyagi never needs long to whip someone's ass. You realize that?
Yeah.
It's always very quick.
Yeah, he's very efficient.
Yeah, well, that's part of it. And the other part of it is just the editing with the actor, I think, was tough. I think they were like, hey, Pat, we got a 10-minute fight scene planned out for you. And he's like, kind of an older guy. My thing is acting, not really karate. And they're like, we can make it 5 minutes. He's like, I'm really just thinking we just throw my stunt double in, do a couple quick kicks and call it a day.
I prefer to think that Mr. Miyagi was just a supreme fighter and very efficient with his moves.
And that's legit too. Okay, that's fine. But anyway, getting back to this Mike Barnes thing with Daniel. Yeah. I mean, look at all the stuff that Mike Barnes got away with, and Daniel never got even on.
Okay.
I mean, Mike Barnes, when he fights Daniel the first time, in that when they first meet, and it's the second time they meet, I guess, but when they fight in that in Mr. Miyagi's little trees.
In the tree shop.
Yeah. It wasn't a tree shop yet, though, but it was going to be a tree shop when it grew up. Daniel's the champion.
Yeah.
All out punches Mike in the face.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And Mike just goes, don't do that.
Yeah.
Not a black eye, not a mark, not a cut, nothing.
Yeah.
He wasn't even dazed in the least bit.
Mm-hmm.
And Mike Barnes just goes, don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
And then he threw Daniel down. And then he was losing his patience with LaRusso. Remember that? He's like, I'm losing my patience with you, LaRusso.
That's what he said.
And Daniel didn't do a damn thing about it. That's pretty bad right there.
Mm-hmm.
It gets worse. Mike Barnes had the balls to kick Daniel's friend zone partner. Right there. He kicked a young girl. We talk about this a lot.
Yeah,
in a lot of
we have.
He kicked her right in the pelvis, right in front of Daniel, not knowing the nature of their relationship. Yes. Think how emasculating that is.
Yeah.
For all he knows, Daniel and her are married. He doesn't know.
Right.
He kicks her right in front of Daniel as if to say, yeah, what are you going to do about it?
Didn't care what Daniel thought about it and didn't care what he was doing to her. So.
And you can make the argument. I know someone's going to say in the comments, well, what about the fact, though, they had Daniel outnumbered 3-1? I don't think Mike Barnes cares about that. To Mike Barnes, Snake and Dennis were nobodies.
Yeah.
Mike Barnes is running the Mike Barnes show.
They were background noise.
Yeah, so he humiliates Daniel there. He kicks his woman. And then when he leaves, he does it with such a smart-ass
Mm-hmm.
kind of thing to him. He's not even like in a hurry to get out of there. He's mocking him. He's mocking the police. He's like, nothing's gonna happen to me. I'm Mike Barnes.
Yeah.
I just got here from Montana and I'm taking over LA as a kid. I mean,
So, listeners, if you never saw Karate Kid Part 3, there it is.
yeah, there's a big chunk of the second act right there. But I mean, really, there's so much that Mike Barnes was able to get away with, and Daniel didn't do a damn thing about. Then when Mike Barnes finally gets his, guess what?
What?
It's because Mr. Miyagi does it. Mr. Miyagi,
Mm-hmm.
that was great. That whole fight scene with Miyagi and the three of them, because Mr. Miyagi first he quickly beat up Mike Barnes when Mike Barnes went outside to go after Daniel. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Terry goes, go get him back here. Bring him back in here. So when Mike first went out, Miyagi threw him in through the doorway. Remember that?
I do.
And that could have been the end of Mike Barnes right there. That could have been it until the tournament.
Yeah.
But then Mike Barnes does kind of wake up and realize what's going on.
Yeah.
And then but he's only awake for 10 seconds before Miyagi throws him into the wall and he shuts off the lights with his hand. Remember that? His body kind of hits the lights.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the first of 2 times that's happened in the Karate Kid universe. It makes you wonder
if Mr. Miyagi really was Cobra Kai, because he's pretty badass.
Well, what are you suggesting? You're saying to be a badass, you got to be Cobra Kai now?
I'm just saying he measures up to Johnny's standard.
Yeah, listen, at that hockey game, Daniel didn't have any help from Johnny or from Mr. Miyagi or from anybody.
Yeah,
and he whipped all those hockey guys' asses for talking about banging his wife.
It would have been. It would have been funny if Johnny in that moment had said, "You mean to tell me you took everything I taught you?"
Yeah, if you guys don't realize, she's referring to a quote that Johnny said to Miguel in episode 5, I think, of season 1. So after Miguel beats up the guys at the cafeteria, that he says, "You mean to tell me you took everything that I taught you?" And you straight up beat the shit out of those guys, even the big dumb one. He could have thrown that in there too. There was a big dumb one.
Yeah,
that would have been funny. Anyway, so my point is this. I want to make my point clear. I don't think Mike Barnes has any respect for Daniel LaRusso. I bet when he looks back on it, he's like, Jesus, I got away with murder. That kid didn't do a damn thing. You know what Daniel should have done?
What?
After Karate Kid 3, after the tournament?
He should have done Karate Kid 4.
Yeah, okay. What Daniel should have, that would have been better, actually. That'll be a separate video.
All right.
Daniel should have hunted him down. All right. Waited outside at wherever he's staying. Oh, we know where he's staying. He was staying at the mansion, wasn't he? Daniel should have waited outside the mansion. And the second Mike Barnes steps outside, Daniel's waiting in the trees or like a bush or something. He leaps out and just grabs Mike Barnes from behind. Fuck honor or anything. You just get vengeance and take him right by his spiky hair and smash his fucking face into the pavement. That would have been badass.
It's not Daniel's style.
Daniel's style is to be more just deceptive
and prankster.
Yeah, he likes to pull pranks. Okay, you could have got him wet. How about that?
Yeah.
He could have been waiting for him. And
with a hose.
With a hose. And he gets them all wet. And Barnes would turn around and go, what the hell was that? What's that about? What's that supposed to do? And he's like, oh, you never saw the first film.
Yeah.
I got Johnny really good. And Barnes would be like, what are you talking about? Who's Johnny? I don't even know what you're talking about.
Pay attention.
Oh, my God. So, yeah, that's my theory. I just don't think Mike Barnes has any respect for Daniel. I think he feels Daniel is he's not even a man.
Yeah.
He sees Daniel as just an absolute fucking pussy who's not a threat to anybody. I think Mike Barnes thinks he can have his way with Amanda. I think.
Oh, well, wow.
Yeah, I think he feels that he could beat up Johnny just because Johnny's friends with Daniel now.
So you're anticipating that Mike Barnes will not have grown or changed at all in the last 30 years?
Well, there's 2 things. Grown, no. Changed, yes. I think he's more aggressive.
Really?
And is even more ashamed of Daniel and sees Daniel as less and less of a man. In fact, he's going to suggest that Daniel's actually no longer a male. He's given up his genitalia.
Wow.
That's what Mike Barnes is going to suggest in season 5. Yeah. Cobra Kai season 5.
Well, I guess when they introduced Terry Silver, they did kind of give us a glimpse of someone who had grown and changed and, improved himself and mellowed out and that all,
You forget just how much of a snake Mike Barnes really is and what a badass he is.
Do I?
He's a kid. when he showed up in Karate Kid 3, he had just been flown in to win a karate tournament.
Yeah.
As soon as he gets into most kids would walk into that mansion and be intimidated. They'd see this karate guy and be intimidated. This guy's got people working for him. He's in a bathtub.
He was very confident.
Yeah, and
as instead, he stood before a naked Terry Silver.
And Mike Barnes, first thing out of his mouth, he's like, "Oh, listen, I've been giving it some thought on the plane, and you offered 25%, which is more than generous, but." Can you tell I've seen the movie a few times? Yes. He says, but I'm afraid that to do my best, which is what I want to do for you, I'm afraid I'm going to need to ask for 1,000%, motherfucker. 1,000%. No, but he wants 50%. And Terry Silver, like, he does this for a living, right? He's a businessman. He negotiates all day.
Right.
He's like, ooh, I'm afraid I can't go over 35. And what does Barnes do? He wins the negotiations. Like, all right, I waste my time. I'm out of here.
He walks away.
Yeah, he walks away. And Terry Silver gives in. He lost the negotiation as a businessman in his 30s to a child, to a high school kid. That is not a good fucking look. So I'm telling you, Mike Barnes is more badass than people give credit for. If he could do that to Terry Silver, there's no way he has an ounce of respect for Daniel.
Well, I mean, look at the intensity in his face and our thumbnail.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's all about the thumbnail today, isn't it?
Yeah.
Listen, so that's my thinking on Mike Barnes.
Look at the intensity on Troll's face.
Troll's pissed off. Look at I'm taking a swing at him. Look at that. You're off reading a book.
Well, that's what I do.
What else is new? So, yeah, I think Mike Barnes is really geared up for just humiliating Daniel. And that's why, if you guys haven't already seen it, we did another video, predictions for season 5, where I actually suggested that what they should do, the show likes to really switch things up.
Yeah.
They like to tee up one thing and then bam, totally turn it around.
They do.
You know, I think Daniel, as soon as he sees Mike Barnes, should just completely unexpectedly just whip Barnes' ass. Like in a way that we've never seen Daniel do on the show. I don't want him to just win a fight like he's done a little bit of.
Yeah.
I want to see him just demolish Barnes. And Barnes like just flailing around and throwing punches. And Daniel's just giving him like the best karate he's ever done in his life. I think that'd be really interesting. And then think about this arc. You can make Mike Barnes' arc be where now he's training and struggling and practicing his karate to try to beat Daniel. That could be he's the underdog now.
Flip the script.
That's a hell of a flip script. And then have Daniel be super arrogant. Like he runs into him at a restaurant and he just mocks him. Daniel's like, kicking you girls lately, you fucking pussy. Oh my God. That'd be incredible. But none of that's going to happen. So again, my point is when we see Mike Barnes, he's going to look at Daniel and just do one of these, right? He's going to look at him and just go, yeah, hey, LaRusso. Yeah. Like trying not to laugh, one of those deals. And Daniel's going to be like, what, do I got ketchup on my shirt? What are you laughing at? I'm just thinking back to 85, the tournament and all the abuse we hurled at you and you didn't do anything about it. You never avenged us. It's kind of fine. Kicked your woman right in her fucking, I mean, what, the fact that Daniel didn't avenge that. All Daniel did, he helped her up and he's like, all right, Jessica, jeez, that guy's an asshole. Dude, you gotta go after him and decapitate the guy.
Oh my!
You can't like this is like you can't just get a point at him in a fucking karate tournament. Oh my God!
Well, you make good points,
of course,
and you could be right.
Let me tell you something. I'll tell you one thing I don't like.
Season 5.
I'll tell you who's worse than Mike Barnes. These people who enjoy our videos but they don't click the like button. They don't subscribe. They don't do anything. They just want to enjoy our content but then not essentially vote to hear more. You know what I'm saying? We've got plenty more Mike Barnes stuff coming up, don't we?
Hit the like button.
We have so many Mike Barnes videos coming up. It's going to be fun. So, all right, listen, guys, like, subscribe, right?
Yes.
Comment, get involved. Let us know. What are your theories about Mike Barnes? Does he have any respect for Daniel? Does he even see Daniel as the least bit of a man? Does he even acknowledge that Daniel has a cock and can use it for anything? I don't think so. Let me know what you guys think. We'll see you tomorrow.